Detroit Become Human. So this was a really interesting game, and so all the stuff about AI right now has actually made me think back about this game and just how interesting this game was. And I've been meaning to review it because Detroit Become Human is generally one of my favorite games, and I am glad I finally get to talk about it. So, what is this game about? Is it good? Do I recommend it? Well, let's just take a look at the story. The story focuses on androids fighting for rights, and focuses on three specific androids. Marcus, who is taking care of an elderly man named Carl. Connor, who is a detective who is tasked with working with I guess burnt out cop named Hank, and of course, Kara, who is taking care of a little girl, and who essentially kind of leads her to safety after her father kind of goes psycho on them. Throughout the game, the stories kind of branch together, but for the most part, they're also just kind of really just off doing their own thing. Marcus is always taking care of Carl until he's forced to go out on a run or left for dead after Carl's eldest son, who was a junkie, basically causes a scuffle at Carl's house. Carl is meant to take care of Alice, but escapes with her after her father, Todd, basically kind of goes apeshit on them. And so Carl is trying to find safety for Alice and eventually trying to get across the Canadian border as a lot of, well, there's a lot of tension that goes on in Detroit from, well, from other androids. Marcus eventually kind of becomes a leader of a group trying to establish rights for androids, and also can become a violent leader or a peaceful leader, really depending on the character, really depending on the player's choices. While Connor, he's trying to find out what's causing these deviants, and is struggling with either being a machine or being human. The game feels like it really explores the meanings of life and freedom, along with rights as well. The androids, well, they're treated awfully by a lot of people. There are some people who you, well, do see in Kara's storyline. They're actually generally super nice to Kara and trying to help her and Alice and Luther try to get to safety. Then in Marcus's storyline, you see androids just kind of being treated like crap from some people. There's this one part where the androids deliver a, message, and no matter what you do, like, these news companies just kind of make it seem that, like, oh, this is just kind of a threat against national security and whatever. Really just showing just how biased some news stations can be. And Connor's, his is sort of just, everyone's just kind of terrible about androids, and androids are kind of fighting back, and it really does these themes pretty well. And there's some really heartbreaking moments in this game as too. Personally, the best ending is all the characters becoming deviants. Detroit being safe for androids, and Colin, Alice, and Luther being able to get across the border, and Connor really becoming a human too, and becoming friends with Hank. Then, of course, there's also several bad endings. Like, there's ones that Marcus can die, Connor can die, Connor can die, and their machine. There's, like, seriously a lot of bad endings. Really too much to count. And there's also a lot of sad endings, too, where characters can die depending on your choices, and it really makes for a tragic story. And no two playthroughs might be the same. You might have one character die in one playthrough, but they live in another. Or this event happens this way, but happens to know it in another story, it adds a lot of replayability, and it also really makes you think about really just how life can be, and just how we can treat others. And I think it's really great example of wonderful storytelling. I feel like it's also a little topical now because of all the stuff that's going on with AI, because that's been a very divisive subject as well. But I guess one of my thoughts about this game, I really do like this story. It's one of the best stories I've experienced, and it's because of this that I do recommend the game to folk who haven't played it. I think it's an amazing game, and it deserves the recognition it gets, and I feel like it should get more recognition for being a fun game to play. And I am definitely excited to get to play through this one again and eventually re-platinum this game. This was one of my proudest platinums, and it's been one of my favorite games since I've played it, and I hope that we see a sequel to it, or at least a PS5 port sometime, or at least something. This game is absolutely amazing, and it does deserve more. It does deserve more recognition. But that's all I really had to say for this review. Well, obviously, like always, I will of course be back next time with a new video. But until then, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.